Hello, I'm Christy with Ergobaby. Today I'm going to talk to you about our other products. I know we're really well known for our carriers, but I'm just going to touch a little bit on sleep. And then I want to show you the Embrace because I think that many people, we talk about those newborn kangaroo care stages, and I really want to share the Embrace because I think it's a great midway carrier. If you like the idea of a stretchy wrap, but you're intimidated by one, the Embrace can do, it feels like a wrap, but it buckles like a carrier. And then if we have a little time, I can talk about the Omni again. So I'm going to start here with our sleep products. So one of my favorite products is our swaddlers. I know there's lots of different brands of swaddlers on the market. This is my favorite to give to new parents. I wish it was around when my kids were little. And the reason I like it is that there's several pieces to it. And I'll put a little doll in here so you can see as well. But it folds up like a little cocoon. But when you're ready for, say, diaper changes, you don't have to undo the whole thing. So I'm going to grab my doll so we can show you. And this is much easier to do flat on a table than holding up in front of a camera. So it might be a little clunky for me, but we'll work with it. So there's these little pockets in the arms that you put the baby's arms through. Put that through here. And then we are going to grab that little third piece that goes up around their middle here. And these go like wrap like this. So you can see that we've got the baby's arms done. And then we will put baby's feet through. So the swaddler is really nice because it keeps their arms. There's plenty of room in the feet. But then if you need to do a diaper change, you don't have to undo the whole swaddler. Oh, I see what I did here. This is supposed to be up here, tucked in. Sorry. So then you would just undo this and you'd be able to change diapers. Baby's still swaddled up. And then you would put it back on. So the swaddler is great for the first couple months for baby. And then when baby is graduating out of the swaddler, I'm going to take this out. We have a sleep sack. Our sleep sacks are pretty neat that you can undo the top and take baby out that way. And there's two adjustments. And then there we go. And then we're going to go here. The zipper goes both ways. So you can zip up or zip down depending on baby. And the thing that's really cool about our sleep bag is that there's actually this little hole in the back. So you can put baby in a sleep bag in a car seat. So you'd be able to thread the car seat part through or a stroller. Thread it through. And you'd be able to unzip because of the double zippers. We have different weights. This one is, I think this is a 1. So there's different TOG ratings, which is different weights for how thin the material is. We have a light, a medium, and a cozy. This is the medium. And then when baby gets to be a little bit bigger, they're walking, we want to give them some mobility. What's really nice is we have another, this one's much bigger. So it's like a sleep bag, still have the same features as the double zipper and the back. So you can, again, go in a stroller, but instead of being the rounded bottom like this one, we actually have foot holes that come through. So they can be closed when baby is sleeping. And then you actually can, baby's feet can come through so they can wear it on the go. So we call this the on the move sleep bag because they don't have to take it off in order to run around the house or for snuggles. And it's a really nice option for those toddler stages. And these go up to, this is like 18 to 36 months. So you'll definitely be able to get some wear out of these well into the toddler years. So outside of sleep products, my other favorite carrier for new baby wearers or new parents is the Embrace. I really love a stretchy wrap. But a stretchy wrap, it's a piece of fabric. It's fair. It's a little bit stretchy. Different brands might be a different stretchiness, but it's a long piece of fabric. So I understand that this might feel intimidating. It's not, and I could do a whole session on stretchy wraps because I really do love them. But the Embrace feels like a stretchy. It is, I'll grab it for you while I start talking. It's a little bit thicker. It's a little, the arms are stretchy. And unlike our other more structured carriers, you can see that we actually can spread these to be on our shoulders like a wrap would be. So the way this goes on is we call it apron style. So it feels slightly upside down if you're used to other Ergobaby carriers, because instead of having the waist and then have the carrier kind of folded over the top, we start with it like we're putting it on like an apron. Our Embrace has 2 settings. We have the newborn setting, which is for the first 2-ish months. And then we have the baby setting. So the Embrace can be worn on front in the baby setting and in the newborn setting. Baby can also face out, but we cannot do a hip or a back carry in it because of the stretchiness of the material. So this carrier, it goes to 25 pounds or about 12 to 18 months, depending on baby size. So the baby setting would just be like this. And then to do the newborn setting, if you're not sure, there's this awesome little instruction right here that tells you kind of the weights and stages what am I trying to say? The inches for height approximately that baby would fit each stage. So in order to do the baby setting, we roll it twice towards us, and that allows for the panel to be shorter. If you watched my talk about the heirloom earlier this week, you definitely will kind of recognize the same setting. And then we can also scrunch this into baby's butt in the same way. So I'm going to put this around here. Oops, I just dropped it. Sorry. All right, here we go. I'm going to bring this around. Then we go through the safety elastic. And the reason I do this, and I will always point it out, is for the longest time as a baby wearer, I didn't know what it was for. So the reason we go through this elastic buckle, or elastic, not buckle, strap that's right here, we pull it all the way through. And then if it gets caught on a sweater or you don't get clipped all the way, it's going to stop your carrier from falling, the waistband falling off. So it's just a little safety feature that I like to point out. All right. I'm trying to get this a little bit tighter for myself. So again, unlike our other more structured carriers, this can be worn really high, really low. If you're not sure where you want the waistband to be on baby, we are going to grab our baby. And we're going to see where we want them on our body. So if it's a very newborn baby, it's going to be a little bit higher. For a bigger baby, it just depends on their size and where they fit on you. So I want my baby to be close enough to kiss. And we don't want them too low. And so if I know I want baby's butt to be about here, then I know that that's kind of where I want that top of the waistband to be. It might be a little bit different. It might be something that you need to play with just slightly. I'm going to set him down for a second. But that's okay. But it's a good place to start. It's a good, let me get this tighter. Gosh, this is brand new. I just got out of the box. So sometimes when you get our carriers, they're a little bit stiff. And so I'm having just a little bit with the webbing. And what I usually tell parents to do is to just run it back and forth to help break in that webbing. Okay, so we got that. And then I'm going to grab my baby. We'll roll this up baby's back to the nape of their neck. So I don't try to pull the fabric up as high as I can. I want to put the fabric where I want it to be on baby, which ideally is going to be about at their ears. So then I do like to do one strap at a time. Some people like to put them both back. That's fine. I do one at a time so I don't grab the wrong thing. So I'm going to turn around here. Now my pro tip for getting the Embrace on is when you're crossing the straps, we're going to pull the strap straight down and then we would cross it across. And the reason I do that is that if I cross it immediately without pulling down, I have a lot of pressure that's going to be put on my neck and my upper back. but by crossing it straight down, I'm going to bring that cross to my mid back. So I'm going to grab this. There's that. And then I'm going to do the other side down. And the other thing when you cross too high up, I find is a lot of people are having a hard time spreading the shoulders and keeping them spread. So by doing this and lowering that cross across the back, it makes it easier to keep the shoulders spread. And there's that. And then the next step I'm going to do, see I pulled that slack down and over to the front. And we don't want it too tight. We want baby to be nice and snug. Sometimes I see, especially with the carriers like ours that adjust right here on the front, I see that parents will they get this nice and snug, and it doesn't work so much with the Embrace in the way it works with the others, but it does do it a little bit where baby gets really like pinned to you, but your straps are still not adjusted. So I always want to make sure when I'm adjusting my straps that I'm pulling the slack from the back forward before pulling that slack out, instead of just pulling this in. You can see a little bit how that gapes baby's back in as opposed to being, so we should be able to bend forward. They're not going anywhere, but we definitely don't need it to be too tight. We don't want to pin baby to our body. So then we're going to pull the straps, and this immobilizes your arms a little bit. That's okay. If you feel like you need to grab something or do something, you can push it out of the way, reach what you need to reach, and then pull it back down. But keeping that cross in your middle of your back is going to help these to stay spread. So this is going to mimic a wrap in a lot of ways, but you're definitely not going to feel maybe feel as intimidated with all of the wrapping. So this is a great option for new parents who like the idea or just really want a carrier for that infant newborn stage, and then to be able to move on to, say, the 360 all positions or a different carrier that requires an infant insert. And so this will get you through those newborn snuggles. So there's that. And then the other thing I like to point out is, just like I do with all of the other carriers, I put my hands at the top of their diaper and I scoop their butt. And when I get to their legs, I kind of shimmy their legs back away from me to get them into that nice deep seat. And that rotates their hips into a more seated or sometimes M position. And then you can also push up on the bottom of their feet slightly. All right, so there's that. Then I'm going to undo this one. And then I will briefly demo the Omni 360. All right. Now, if you have one of our carriers and you're wondering how to store it, or if you're on the go, one of the things I like to show, and you can do this with all of them, is we will take our straps, we'll fold them in, roll it, and then we can buckle it here. And that kind of keeps the most of the straps contained. It keeps it fairly small, and we can do that with the Omni as well. All right, so I'm gonna do, all right, so then if you want a 1-and-done carrier, and this carrier goes to 45 pounds from 7 pounds. And the reason it does that, let's move this, is because of this adjustable seat. I'm gonna put that in the middle setting there. And then when you first get this new out of box, it's already in the newborn setting. So this, it should be on the middle, the smallest seat, and then this head pillow should be on the inside of the carrier. This pillow will stay inside till about 3 or 4 months, until baby has good head and neck control, and then you can flip it to the outside. Let me get this buckled up here. All right, so I'm gonna put this on. All right, and I usually put my carriers on at the side, because then I can see what I'm doing when I'm clipping and make sure I get it clipped in properly, and then I'll scooch it around back. All right, so again, for a newborn, you may find that it's easier, it's a more ideal position to have the waistband up higher, and then as they get bigger, we're going to be able to lower that waistband, ideally with a bigger baby, not a newborn, you're going to wear it at about your hips. I have a very small torso. So for me, it's always going to be slightly high until baby's much bigger. So I've got this. The next thing I'm going to do is I like to make sure that my straps are loose. And the reason I make sure my straps are loose is that it makes it easier to reach the chest clip. So I'm going to grab my baby and we'll put it on. And the nice thing about the Omni is that you can actually cross the straps as well, like you do with the Embrace. So if you even have a hard time with that limited mobility reaching behind your neck, crossing the straps is a great option as well. So I'm going to grab the one strap on, the other strap, and then because my straps are loose, I can reach right behind my neck and reach this clip. Actually, I'm going to loosen this a little bit. My straps, it's going to lower that into a more ideal position. We like to say the H straps, and so it just means that we want our shoulder straps to be parallel and we want our chest or back strap to be parallel to the floor. Next I'm going to do is take that slack, push it over my shoulder and loop it around. And the reason I do this is, like I said, with the Embrace, where a lot of oh my gosh, let me left my little head pillows smushed there. There we go. So a lot of parents, and you'll see this really easily here. So I'm going to go like this. Do you see how that pushes right here and it pins the top of baby's back to me? But I didn't pull any slack out of my straps. So what I'm going to do is start here, push over, loop it around. You can hold it in your arm if it's easier to do. You don't have to. And then I do it on the other side. I'm going to push. There we go. Again, we don't need it to be too tight. We don't need it to be too loose. Baby shouldn't be going away from us, but we definitely shouldn't feel like we're pinned to baby. Baby's close enough to kiss. And actually this baby, I could probably move my waistband slightly higher. Let me grab. And then we want this lower back piece to be centered. I'm going to actually take the slack out of the other side. This is the lower back piece. And mine's slightly off center. I'm not going to worry about it too much, but it's really nice counter pressure and gives you that sort of helps to more evenly distribute the weight on your body. So I've scooched this up a little bit, and because I did that, I'm going to have to take a little bit more slack out of my straps. So then my straps are long. I want them out of the way. Don't want them to get caught in a door. I'm going to roll this up. And there we go. There we go. Gets it out of the way. Then, just like with every carrier, I'm going to put my hands inside the at the top of the diaper, and I'm going to do my scoop and then push their thighs into that seat. So sometimes I'll see, especially we'll have babies, their legs will look like they're kind of hanging a little bit. We have a lot of extra fabric. Like I can really put my whole hand through here. There's a lot, and I want to put their butt deep in that seat. So what I'm going to do is put my hands in. I'm going to scoop, and then I'm going to push, and I can even pull this out and then do it again to get baby in that deep seat. There we go. All right, and then at about 3-ish months, we can flip this head pillow to the outside. And I'm going to loosen this, and I will show very quickly how to do the cross straps on the Omni. So I'm going to just unbuckle these, and I'm going to bring this here. I'm not even going to take baby out to show you, but I'm going to unclip. So now if you have a hard time reaching that chest clip, what you can do is I like to, before I try to cross straps, I like to push this all the way and roll this up. I've tried grabbing it once or twice. So if I just get it out of the way, I won't grab the wrong strap. It's not a big deal, but I like to try to set myself up to not feel frustrated or make mistakes with my carrier. So, and that just keeps that little piece out of the way. All right, so shoulder strap, we're gonna pull it down, cross, and then next one, down and cross and clip. So that way, it's a nice other option. I find that people that have broader shoulders or limited mobility really like the cross straps. And in some ways, it gives you a much more customized fit with the carrier. All right. So the Omni can also be worn in a hip carry. It can be worn in a back carry, and it can face baby out. So this is the carrier that kind of does all of the things. It's an all-in-one carrier. If you want something that's one and done, you don't want to spend, you know, you don't want the newborn carrier to go into the other carriers. And it really is a personal preference. I don't want to tell anyone this is the best carrier, because I think what is best for me is going to be best, not be best for other people. So we have to look at where we intend to wear, what we want to do with the carrier with baby at home. And I'm going to take this off here, and I'll show you when baby gets a little bit bigger, we're going to adjust. There's that. So that would move out, and then you would move it out further. So in order for baby to face out, we want it to be on the widest setting. And then we're going to flip this head pillow to the outside. And then milestones for facing out. So when we want baby to have core, head, and neck control, we want them to be able to have their chin above the top of the carrier. Those are my two biggest ones. Is I want them to be able to hold their head up. I want them to have, when they're in the carrier, their chin needs to be higher than this part of the carrier. So to switch with the Omni Canvas, we are going to look here. There's two buttons. There's a black and there's a gray. So the black always goes on their back. So that's for facing in. It will always be black. You won't switch it to anything else except for the gray. I'm going to switch it. In here. And then baby would be ready to face out. So I'm going to grab my slightly bigger baby for very quickly here. This baby is still too short to face out. And how I know that is when I put this on, and I scooch baby's hips into that nice deep seat, baby is way down in the carrier. So this it looks, dolls don't have joints, but this really does support them in that seated position in the same way it supports them when they're facing in. So it gives them that nice deep seat, but really we want baby to be, their head should be here, which happens anywhere between minimally, usually 4 months, 4, 5, 6 months. One of my kids really couldn't face out till almost 7 because they were pretty petite and they had a short torso. So they just didn't fit in the carrier until then. So every baby's different. If you're not sure, if your baby's ready to face out, you can try it. You can email us at support@ergobaby.com. We're always happy to help with fit checks. And we do consultations as well. So if you're not sure, we can send you a calendar link. You can sign up and we can do a virtual fit check with you. I think that is about it for the for my demo. And I just wanted to mention that Prego 30 will give 30% off anything on our website, and that is till 11:59 p.m. tonight. All right, that is it. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'm sorry I didn't have any comments loading while I was talking, so if there's something I missed, feel free to message support. We're always happy to help.